We are live. What's going on, world? It's Steve Patton here. Long overdue interview with Mr. God Over Money himself, Bizzle. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Been blessed. How about yourself?
Man, I'm good. Enjoying this new life on the West Coast. Seeing what everybody was bragging about. I get it now.
Yeah. The weather is what's up. Wouldn't trade the weather for nothing in the world except for a cheaper place to stay, which I did.
that Cali cost of living is a little bit different. But it's dope, man. It's dope. I'm good. It's good to finally kind of for me and you to catch up, do an interview. I just realized like we have never done one of these.
Yeah, I know. Usually the joints be like we try to schedule them for like the day of release, and that day is usually like my exhale, chill with the wife day, outside of social network crazy day. You know what I'm saying? Usually I kind of been working hard and pulling away, so it's kind of like that exhale day with the family, man. But I didn't even get to do that this year, man. I had to fly out to New York and do a promo run and all that good stuff.
Now, how was that for you personally, having to do it that way in regards to your normal go out and relax? Like, how was that for you, just trying to recoup after pushing hard for the album?
It was cool, but you know, I would have rather celebrated with the family, man. You know what I'm saying? But it was working. My birthday was the day before, so you know we got to celebrate my birthday the day before, kicking all of that stuff. So the next morning I was out and it was back to business.
Word. So how's it been, man? It's been a week since the album?
Yeah, it's been a week since the album. Finally got it out, man. Go ahead.
Walk us through, man. What was the process like for putting that album together? I mean, because you got features galore over there, and it's all towards an amazing cause, the Well Wishes album. So walk us through, man. What was that process like putting that album together with all of those features from people from kind of all over everywhere?
I can't lie, it was kind of stressful. When you have so many different people and you're all trying to get on one page, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like mad features, and we can't finish songs without everything in, which is why it ended up, you know, getting pushed back. It was supposed to drop in like spring, but I guess I kind of anticipated it. You know what I'm saying? When you got like 30 different people who have careers that they own, who have families that they own, you know what I'm saying? So it's understandable, but I'm glad we were able to do it, man. Even outside of the cause, which I think is the most important. Just to demonstrate unity in Christian rap, man, because a lot of people, they see you not on songs with people, and they assume that you don't know people or have relationships with people. And you know, I think with a lot of the guys, some I know more than people think I know them, you know what I'm saying, and some we just have mutual respects, and we talk every now and then, but just to demonstrate that, man. So I really tried to get everybody try to touch like every so-called clique or whatever we, you know, from in Christian rap, man, and get us all on one accord.
That's dope. So I love asking an artist this question. Now we know what was the least favorite part of the process with trying to get everybody from all over the planet together. What was your favorite part of the process?
My favorite part of the process was seeing the features roll in and see, you know, people I respect, you know what I'm saying, seeing what they did on the records and like, oh, he killed it, oh, you know what I'm saying. So it was dope when stuff finally started rolling in to see the records come together, you know what I'm saying, and man, and from that point it was excitement. So I guess my most favorite part was when it was done, and then it was just waiting for y'all to hear it.
Dope, man. So everything's going to a good cause. Tell us a bit about what brought you to the idea to say, hey, I think I should use my platform for this, especially with all of the different ideas and different things, everybody pulling at your attention. What made you want to leverage your platform for something like this with Well Wishes?
It was a few reasons, man. You know, my mind, you know, it goes in a gang of different directions. So, one though, like I always wanted to give to a cause with the project. I've been wanting to do that. I just didn't know what the cause would be. But I've always felt like the better I do, the more I feel like I want to help. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you make it out the hood, but then there's people who still in the hood, so you can't really celebrate the way you want to. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm so blessed, man, I was just trying to think of what way can I help? And I feel like in rap, period, whether Christian or secular, we always put out free projects. You know what I'm saying? When it's to promote us, we put out mixtapes and stuff like that, so it's not foreign. I think the only difference is this time you're seeing income, you're seeing money hit your hand, and then you got to give it away. Which I know from the secular standpoint, and even probably from the Christian standpoint, it might be hard for some people, but it's just a reflection, man, of me being grateful for what God has done in my life. Also, that the reason is specified towards the cause that we're doing, which is the water wells out in Mozambique. I was praying. I was asking the Lord, what cause should I do it for? I remember, matter of fact, I was in the room I'm in right now. I was on my knees. I was asking the Lord what He wanted me to do. And I got up. I got in the Word. I started reading. I come to Jacob meeting Rachel at the well, and all of a sudden it was like a light switch. And so I get up. I go in the other room, and I'm on a laptop, and I start doing my research. Another confirmation comes where this dude, I was talking to Lavoisier, he had been telling me about this lady named Christine Gard, and she works with this group called Could You, and she just always taking an interest in, like, the black community and helping, and she's just a legit. He was just selling me on co-signing her character before I was ever gonna do anything with her. So when I tell Voss, like, yo, I think this is what we're gonna do, he's like, yo, she does that. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know. And so while we're out touring in Africa, she's out in Mozambique. You know what I'm saying? She's out there too. So that was one of the things, and just talking to her and seeing how real the need was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wake up, man, and I look at my children every day. I look at them while they sleep sometimes, man, and I'm just grateful for them. So to hear about a place where people's kids are dying from how polluted, or how, what I'm saying, tainted the water is there, and to the degree where they don't name their kids until they turn a year old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have two children. One is 2, one is 3. Like, they just made it out of that gap, you know what I'm saying, that timeline not too long ago, man. So I think it's crazy, and I honestly felt selfish that before, or ignorant. I'll say I was ignorant, but I think it might be a little bit of selfishness too, because before I went out there, I didn't really know, I guess, how real the situation was out there for them. So until I'm going to the doctor, and the doctor's telling me, like, yo, don't drink the water, shower with your back to the faucet, close your mouth, don't eat the fruits of the vegetation grown from the water, brush your teeth with a bottle of water if you have to, you know what I'm saying? And I started to worry about what I was going to drink. And I just felt like it's not cool that the first time I'm worried about the water situation out there is when I gotta go, and I'm about to step into their reality. But it was a reality for them long before it became a reality for me. So I couldn't step back out of their reality into being Bizzle out here with my family, and just forget about what was going on out there, man. So I just wanted to do my part to help.
Wow. So what's the response been like from? What was the response from the people that you decided to partner with? Like, were they excited? Were they thinking, appreciate it? But
nah, they mad. They were mad excited, man. Mad excited, which got me more excited. But then I was like, yo, I was kind of down, because they were waiting you know what I'm saying, on me, because the joint was supposed to drop in spring, and that's when I told them. So I'm like, man, I gotta tell them we're pushing it back. And when they ask me how's the project coming, and you know what I'm saying, so but we were able, you know, to shoot out. We shot $5,000 out there a little earlier, just so they could build. It wasn't their rain season, so what we did is we shot out the 5,000, and that got some catchments built on their school buildings that'll catch the rain, and at least, you know, for their school, those children will be able to drink that water until we're able to get the water wells up and running. So that kind of helped with the fact that we were running late on the project.
Mm. Mm. So what's the if you don't mind saying, you know, on the numerical value, what's the goal? Like, how much would you love? How much are you targeting to raise through the Well Wishes album?
It would be awesome to do like at least 100,000. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom, like, if we don't reach 30, I'm gonna be upset, because I know how my people go out and support projects when it's just me and we rapping and and they want to hear good music. So I don't expect that bar to be any lower when I'm doing it for this cause. Even if you don't want to hear a lot of features, or like, I don't want to see any selfishness. And I know that we could pull that in. So that's what, and usually a well costs from like maybe 6 to 8, maybe 10,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the place that we are, their water, you can't even dig a well and drink. They can't drink the water there, so we have to get it piped in. So that one's gonna cost, for that village is gonna cost 30,000 to get it piped in from somewhere else and get it to them. And man, it's gonna happen, whether it's from Well Wishes or whether it gotta go into my next album. But I'm not doing that at 30 at least.
All right, so you hear that, folks? No bootlegging this one. No ripping the songs, throwing them on YouTube, talking about you trying to do it for the Saints. The Saints over in Mozambique need some water to drink. Don't steal this album. Go buy it. Go buy it. Cop it. Go cop another one and give it to somebody. Don't even stream it. Don't even stream it. Go buy it. Go buy it, because the money is, if you stream his song on Spotify or on Google Play, you're gonna get like 1/1000th of a cent if you stream.
All right.
It's a long way to 30,000 if you're going 1/1000th of a cent.
Yeah,
go buy it. Word. So what's gonna be the next single from the project?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking. You know me, I like soft music, so it's a record on there I did with Ken Jones and Crystal Tamar. She actually was signed to a group called Sophia Fresh. They were signed to T-Pain, and then she got saved. But the joint I did with them, it sounded like almost like a classic R&B record with me rapping on it. I like that one, but I'm also thinking about The Village, the joint with me, Sho Baraka, Jen, and V Rose on it. I don't know. Might let people vote though. I don't know.
Hey, there you go. Take a vote. Let's take a vote right now, people. Do a poll. Hop to Twitter. Go on right now and do the hashtag for next video for Bizzle. Is it going to be The Village, or is it going to be what's the name of the other joint?
Did For Me with Ken Jones.
Did For Me. Did For Me. Is it Did For Me, or is it The Village? You go ahead and take a vote right now, folks. And we're still here live. Thanks for joining us. I see I'm looking at the ticker. People still joining us live right now. Thanks for joining us. We're here live with Bizzle, Mr. God Over Money, the Christian rapper Bizzle. Not ashamed of it either.
Amen.
So we're here fresh off of the heels of the release of his Well Wishes album, which he's got a big goal. Well, seemingly big goal. He's trying to raise $30,000 to help build some wells and get some water in Mozambique. What's some places people can go cop the album? Like, do you want people to cop it on iTunes, cop it at the show? Where do you want people to cop the album?
You can cop it on iTunes, Amazon. Matter of fact, you can cop physical copies right now at GodOverMoney.com. And we're trying to, I think Family Christian just picked it up. We just got to give it like a week or so for them to get it in their system. and have it on the shelf, so y'all be able to pick them up there soon.
Dope, dope, dope. Has the response been what you've anticipated so far, or have any of those reports come in yet?
You talking about as far as sales?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't
Cool.
know. It better do. If it do significantly less than my other stuff when I'm solo, man, I'm gonna be mad at my fans. I'm telling you. Like I really feel like it's a cause. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, my heart is in this. And if we can't make it all, I could from between we got well over 100,000 people across social networks. I'm not expecting everybody. Usually about 4% of the people cop first week. You know what I'm saying? But I'm expecting for people to give and really, you know what I'm saying? We as a body, it shouldn't be a give and take. It should be a give to give.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, yo, I'll give y'all this project. Me and a lot of people came together, man. I just really want y'all to support. Yo, please don't burn that joint, man. Like, I know y'all be wanting to burn it for your friends and for the kingdom, but yo, that you having that CD ain't more important than somebody over there having water. It's really not. So don't do that this time around.
Yeah. 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 Now, what's next for God Over Money then? I know we've got God Over Money. Break it down for everybody. Who is, because I know there's a lot of affiliations, especially with people see God Over Money, people see Hogmog, people see Alpha Omega. Who is officially God Over Money, and what's next for the God Over Money movement?
Okay, so right now, officially, God Over Money is me, Bumps Inf, Say Loud Corner. But you get some news Wednesday about somebody new joining the squad. Exclusive.
Oh,
Exclusive.
oh,
But when it comes to P Dub or Voss or Seven, like they my brothers, like they might as well be. Like it ain't really no separation like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they my bros, man. So but the official on the artist side, on the music side is me, Say Lot of Corner and Blunt. And next right now we're about to do, man, we got Say Lot of Corner about to drop Hoodie Season 2, which I'm really excited for because the record is sounding real good right now. And then we got Bumps is about to drop a new album within the next couple months. So, we got well wishes out the way, and now it's back to work.
or when will we see the first?
I didn't hear whatever you just said.
Bump?
Oh, it's tripping.
Oh, there you go. You back now? You there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's the next album from Bumps?
You said the next album from Bumps?
No, the next single from Bumps.
The next from Bumps? Is that what you said? Man, y'all should be getting Bumps a single from Bumps by within the next month or so for the new album.
Oh, say that one more time. You cut in and cut out when you said it. When can we expect to hear a new song from Bumps?
You gonna hear something new from Bumps within the next month or so. We're gonna start dropping singles. So just gotta pick
Dope.
one
So
right now.
all you Bumps fans, be on the lookout. It's coming. Bumps is a killer MC, Ohio MC.
Yo, he's one of the most. Yo, when it comes to transparency, dog, like Bumps is it. Like he put everything out there, man. And this album is no different from like the stuff I'll be hearing. It be that stuff that he say that stuff that make you feel okay with admitting it after he say it. You know what I'm saying? But
Word.
Bumps is doing him, man. I definitely honestly I think that this joint is hotter than the last one already from what we've been getting. So I'm excited for y'all to hear Bumps' new album.
Mm. Now, on the topic of saying the stuff that make you feel okay saying it after he said it, you're no stranger to that same kind of dynamic. I know we had on the last album where you openly talked about masturbation,
Yeah.
which I'm sure me saying that made some people kind of shake even at the word. But you
Let me
openly
take the word.
Yeah, but I mean, you're no stranger to that as well. What has been the responses that you've gotten, both positive and negative, from doing songs like that? And how would you do them differently, or would you do them differently going forward?
Okay, one, I definitely wouldn't do it differently. Um, Two, like that song, that record, the My Confession joint about the pornography. I promise that was the scariest record I ever had to drop. Like I went to Jay-Z, Ross, Ye, spoke on the LGBT, same love joint. That My Confessions joint was the one that had the most fear in my heart before I put it out.
Mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was like a process. Like when I wrote it, I was like, okay, is that it, Lord? Like, did you just want me to get it off my chest? You know what I'm saying? He's
Mhm.
like, no. So
Put that
I start letting people hear, like my closest friends only. You know what I'm saying? And I was embarrassed to let my wife hear it, but and wait, let me rewind though, because the way the song came about is, one day I'm at church and the pastor's preaching and he's just in my business. I just slipped last night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, golly, so I'm feeling mad convicted. So me and my wife we go to eat breakfast or lunch, I guess it was, after church. And she keeps asking me what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, and I keep saying nothing. But like I wear my emotions on my face, you know what I'm saying? So she we finally get there, I park, she asks me what's wrong, she's not letting me blow past it. So I break down crying on her lap and I tell her, what the deal is. And it was like so embarrassing because to her, in her eyes, I'm like this strong man of God, you know what I'm saying? So it was just hard to tell her that, man, and I felt mad weak. Um but I told her, but on the but when I went, the longest I went was after I told her. Like I went like 3 4 months. When I say on the song, I went like 3 or 4 months. You know what I'm saying? That was the longest I had ever gone, was after that smaller confession. So later I end up writing the record. I'm letting people hear it, and everybody from saved to unsaved, I play the record for them. They start confessing straight off out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, Lord, you're really gonna make me release this? Like you're showing me what it's gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So then it's like, okay, do I just hide it on the album or do I put it out as a single? Like, Lord, you gonna make me as a single? Like, and then it was like, okay, so do I drop it as a single after the album or before the album? Like, I really thought this joint was gonna kill all album sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause people to slander me even more than they have, because I felt people have always waited. Since the beginning, man, a lot of people ain't really like me. So I felt like this is what they was waiting on. Something to say, aha, I told you he wasn't real. But I'm at this spot where, I'm telling the Lord, I'm a living sacrifice. So at what point does the living sacrifice get to say what he's not gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Not only that, I say, everything is about your glory, your glory. Now we're in the point where you can get the glory, but it's gonna embarrass me. And as Christian rappers, I feel like we always talk about how we willing to die and all this, all that, that hard talk on records. But how you willing to die for the gospel if you're not willing to be embarrassed? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is a lot that I dealt with, and I'm like, you know what, man? I talk all that. I'm real. I'm real. This truth music. So let's go, Lord. If you say do it, do it. But what I will tell you is this: the moment I pushed make public on YouTube, I was delivered from right then, dog. No lie. Only
Mm.
God. And I tried everything. I tried blockers on the laptop. I was accountable to my pastor, to Vols, Seven. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried a whole lot of stuff, dog. You know, and the moment I pushed make public on YouTube, from that point on, instantly delivered. So I know it was God. I know that he's gonna get the glory out of that, because can't nobody else take credit. I burnt out all my what I thought might work.
Mhm.
And man, like, I got a lot of love, man. I didn't expect the love. I expected the hate. I expected people to make fun of me. Um, and it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, my stomach was turning flips. I almost switched the record at 7 minutes before I released the record. I almost switched the record. Like, babe, I just told them a song's coming. I could switch it. They would never know. But I prayed on it. The Lord was like, you better not. So man, I put it, though. I put it out, man, and people put out YouTube, Facebook videos, making their own confessions. Mad people felt me to this day. People hit me up like, yo, I struggle with this, and I appreciate that record, man. I feel like you told my story, and then I started seeing, because my problem with that specific struggle, I felt like, oh yeah, I sold drugs, or yeah, I was pimping, or yeah. I saw the reason God let me go through that. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of stuff, I saw the reason. It's easy to continue when you're like, yeah, I use this in my testimony all the time. It helps people. I watch it. But my problem was always like, Lord, this, like, who is this going to help? Like, why are you letting me struggle with this? You know what I'm saying? And it was then where I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really see why he's allowed me to struggle with this throughout this time. But I had to, out of obedience, I had to make the record. If I tried to contain my own sin and keep my mess in the dark, I wouldn't. It would have been a lot of people who didn't get help. So the outcome was positive, very positive. The only negative, I would say, I did see, like, it was some, like, pastors who did, like, a radio show, and they were talking about whether or not I should step down and all of that. Um, but I had been so willing to step down just out of condemnation before. Like, Lord, am I supposed to quit? Like, stop. And the Lord showed me and confirmed multiple times that I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but I believe that that as rappers, a lot of times we do serve as ministers. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care, like, whether with the I'm gonna do the same job whether the title's there or not. But it just kind of tripped me out to where a lot of pastors do not respect rappers as ministers, but then they try to apply the pastor guidelines and punishment and say we got to step down because, and then they go straight to the part of the Bible where it talks about the overseer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, either I'm not a pastor and I'm not held to that standard, or you're gonna show me the respect that you would show a pastor if you want to give me the punishment that comes with crossing that line. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, there was so much love, unexpected love, man.
Now that's interesting because that's actually a hot button topic for me. That's a hot button topic for me, having been on both sides of that, rapper pastor equation. I think that there is another aspect and another element that I think everybody involved in the discussion is kind of pushing to the side, because on one hand you got pastors saying, yeah, they're rappers, they're not pastors, and I think
Yeah,
that's a
and
true
I
thing.
don't think I'm no pastor. As far as ministry, I believe I minister, but I'm close enough to my pastor to see what he does, and I don't do that with a flock, that a physical. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that, so I don't even desire any title, honestly. But I don't try to claim that one ever.
Right, but what I think happens in that is because what ends up happening is because we see that there is some ministry involved. There's definitely some ministering element. There's some proclamation that's going on. The lay people automatically assume proclamation with pastor,
Hmm.
and that's where everything goes goes kooky. So then when I say stuff like they're rappers, not pastors, people jump and say, oh, how you going to say that they're not a minister? I didn't say they're not a minister. Scripture says that we're all ministers, but Scripture also says that he called some to be pastors and teachers. So I agree, but I'm with you though. I don't think we should be trying to apply 1 Timothy 3 and Titus 2 to rappers when they sin, when they fall. I think if anything, if there should be any kind of discipline to come from anywhere, it should come from that rapper's local church.
Well, and I don't know, like I honestly I feel like it's a I don't land anywhere hard on the subject just because I don't feel the clarity. What do you do when you have a pastor over a congregation of 10, but you have a Christian rapper who reaches 50,000 people on a consistent basis, and you also have pastors who reach the same amount of people over TBN, and it's like, at what point do they, if you take away the physical flock, but they still on TBN, or they still pastor, vice versa, like, and that's because I never really desired the title. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pastor asked me, like, would you feel like you are called to be a minister or whatever? I'm like, yo, regardless of what somebody called me, I'm gonna do what I do. Like, but I don't know on that. I don't really lean either way. And I don't know about the step down either, because I feel like we still choose. Well, no, there's some clear guidelines for the qualification, but then there's a lot of stuff like the pornography joint. You know how many pastors would have to step down right now? Who would be leading these flocks? So for somebody to always be the one to say, you slipped, step down, I don't know, man. I think.
See, here's where I landed at, and this is what I think is the missing element. I think is a missing element in the Christian hip hop sphere, because we've seen so much brokenness and so much abuse, and so many problems within the local church. We kind of abandon the local church, and if nothing else, the local church is kind of like an addendum added on to what we do, but we don't like commit and submit there. Even saying that word, I'm sure it just scared the crap out of a lot of people, saying that word, submit, in local church. I think so much of that stuff is that's what the local church is designed for. That's what the elders, plural, not just one single guy telling everybody what to do, but the plurality of elders that are there, which is what the Bible calls for. And I think those people who, whether you are you're the guy, you're not a pastor, but you're on TV, ministering to millions, or you're the rapper and you're on TV ministering to millions, or if you're the football player and you're on TV and you get the opportunity to minister to millions, whatever the case is, what it all comes down to is our submission should be happening in the local church.
Amen.
Not via these streams. Because if I can't be submitted to all 50,000 people who just downloaded my song, but I can be submitted to the 4 or 5 elders at my church who will hold me accountable, and the people who I do discipleship with who will hold me accountable to what the Lord says. That's what I think is missing.
Would you expect the same thing from the pastor of the church, to be submitted under somebody?
Absolutely. I think here's something else I think is missing in a lot of local churches. And so I'm grateful for my church seeing it happen at our church. But there's in that plurality of elders, those pastors, in a certain sense there's equality. There is like when you look through Scripture, you see, you see Peter and the 12, and the 12 were all equal, but Peter was first among those equals. All of those dudes were apostles, but Peter was the first among those equals, but he was still submitted to him. And when he got out of line, Paul and them stepped to him. Like, yo, you over here telling the Gentiles they're supposed to be like this, and he stepped and he corrected them. And they had other elders that were present and brought correction to them. So I think there should be in the local church some mutual submission.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm in the local church under my pastor. I do Bible study every Thursday. But just for the sake of where we're going with this, if I'm a Christian rapper and I have wise counsel of my own, to whom or with whom I am equals, then what? Because we're not talking about, when you gave your example of being a rapper and I can't submit to 50,000 people. Well, the pastor doesn't submit to the people in the pews, so that wouldn't be the correct comparison. But if he has elders and I have, peers, a wise counsel, just like before I put out any record like Same Love, I run it by everybody. We make sure that we can all stand behind this biblically. You know what I'm saying? Or else you can ask Voss in the interview and he'd be like, man, I wasn't with that. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand behind. That's where that division comes. So would you? I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's different. It's different perspectives. But I think in the physical aspect, I just wouldn't. Because I get to be with my pastor. Like my pastor's up at the hospital praying for somebody, and 1 minute, and then he's on the phone, and then he's over here trying to help get food on the next person's fridge. Like, yo, if you don't have a congregation that you watch over physically, to me that's pastoring. You know what I'm saying? But for others, I think it might fall where we said, as far as the difference between the pastor and the minister, because most of us preach. We're all called to preach the gospel. We're all called to minister, but like you said, like I don't really fight for that title at all. But if I don't have the title, don't put that standard on me either. It's gonna be either. You know what I'm saying?
Word. I can dig that. I dig that, and I'm with that 100%. Now I would say on one thing you just said there, and then we'll switch topics here. What I would say though is that though you've got other rappers that you would put something out there for, and have them, get so that you can get wise counsel on. I think at the end of the day, if there's one person that had to be the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, I think if there would be one person that you would have to weigh their final opinion, I think for you, just as a Christian minister, I think that last vote that you would weigh the heaviest would be your local pastor.
Mm-hmm.
As a Christian. Now that doesn't mean that you ignore the wisdom of these other guys who are saying, because your pastor might not get it. You might have 100 guys I get it, and then your pastor's like, I don't get it, and you might have to explain to him like what he's not getting. But I think if there's a final vote to kind of help bring some clarity, I think for the Christian it'd be submitted in a local church. But again, I know that's messy, especially in urban context, because we see so much abuse in the local church and so much abuse of authority and everything else. So
I think if you stay in the book, if you stay in your word and you go, I mean, because I didn't stay at the first church I ever went to. You know what I'm saying? As I grew, I moved around like this. At first, the pastor had to be funny and hip, or I couldn't rock with it. You know what? I grew out of when I needed to laugh and all this, and I wanted to learn, and I wasn't learning, so I moved somewhere where I could learn. You know what I'm saying? Then I wanted to get in ministry. I just, because I think that for a lot of people is one, we're not in the word, so we don't catch anything, the stuff that's off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But two, we also don't want to be so close connected. So then you have people like, oh, well, I'm not finna put my money in the pot and all of this. But you don't follow your dollar because you're not involved in the ministry. Now, if you put your money in the pot when it roll around, and then after church, y'all out there ministering, passing out Bibles, those Bibles cost money. And then y'all out there feeding the homeless. When y'all feeding the homeless, that food costs money. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to see your dollars at work, you can gain more trust in the ministry, but you can't just go trusting anybody. So it's up to you to get involved. Like, church is not a show. You get involved and put your feet on the ground and your hands to the plow and move somewhere. Quit talking about the church. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? That actually brings me. I had something else I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna come back to. But while we're in that vein right now, it's really exciting for me to hear you with someone who has been given. I mean, you've been given a crazy platform. You've been given a crazy platform, crazy good platform. And it's exciting to see you so committed and passionate about service and connecting in the local church. But how do you feel about other guys that have had the spotlight, that haven't had opportunity? Well, that didn't plug in that way, that were kind of put up front and didn't get opportunity to really plug in. Like when I say that, I think about guys like Mase and Hopson. I'll start with Hopson because being one of the more popular things. Now, my first question is, and pardon my ignorance on this, do you have any kind of relationship or had opportunities to kick it with Hopson at all?
Nah. I actually, after I heard his most recent record, I tried to see if I knew anybody who knew him or could get his info, but I haven't been able to get to him.
Word. Okay. Knowing that he went very public with his faith and then went very public with his doubt on this most recent song, just at a gut level, what was your response? Like, what was your feeling?
My first feeling was, it was hurt. Like, I felt compassion for him, because I feel him. I feel, it's like I feel every question he's asked, I think a lot of us have asked, and a lot of non-believers asked. But the way he went about it, the way he was talking, is not the way you talk to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel him, but then I'm thinking of, okay, who, because he has some type of relationship with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? He has some type of expectation from that relationship. He felt like wasn't being met, and he lashed out. But there's a lot of other people who don't have the relationship, who now they're just rebellious, and now they just, they're gonna feel just more comfortable in their rebellion. But I felt him, man, and I for some reason, in my mind, I wanted to respond on record, but in my heart, I did not feel led, and it's crazy because I feel like, this is a perfect time for me to respond. Like, perfect record, I get to answer a lot of these questions, and you know what I'm saying? Because I've had a lot of them. But for whatever reason, if I responded, it would be forced, and it would be because a lot of people want to see me respond, and I can never do that. People always want me to respond to everything Jay-Z or Rick Ross does, and as mad as I get, sometimes I write records and I throw them away. You know what I'm saying? And there's records that only the people closest to me heard, and they never make it out just because I know it's in my anger. And the times where I know that it's the Lord, you hear him. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I hope I can have a convo with him, but we'll see, man. A record might come later, but as of right now, there's nothing even on its way. I'm just I prayed for him that day, and we'll continue to.
Word. What about Mase? What thoughts about the?
My first response when you just said that, like, man, Mase a sucker. Straight up. But yo, man, I'm not feeling what Mase doing right now. I'm just not gonna hop on no record because it's gonna go way left right now. I'm pretty sure there might be something behind it, on some, some hurt or pain. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I do not. I don't respect, like, my respect for my respect level for Mase right now is zero, or maybe the 1% that I would need to be a Christian towards him. But real talk, man. That's where I'm at. Like, forget Mase, man. He late. I'm mad at what he's doing right now, because he's doing what everybody in the world expected him to do. You know what I'm saying? But there's always a side of the story that we don't know, that we don't see. And I can't. Me personally, since I've been a Christian rapper, Christians are the only ones who have ever made me question or made it pop into my head to stop doing Christian rap. Never been in the world. I can go and they can close doors in my face, and I can keep knocking and keep pounding, and they can hate, and I can rock. Christians are the only ones who have ever made me feel like, man, forget this. So I can't say that Christians ain't the one over there who you know what I'm saying, who who put the battery in his back to do what he's doing. But regardless, it's still wrong. I don't respect it at all, man. At all. I was going to sound Christian and be like, but I pray. Right now, honestly, I don't feel like that. I don't respect it.
I feel that. I haven't had the I don't know if you call it luxury or opportunity or what, but having had the opportunity to watch this whole thing unfold over the years. Seeing it at the very beginning, I'm not surprised.
But see, I had respect, and I guess that's why I'm mad, because I have respect for Mase. Even when people talk bad about him, I always defended him, because I know that nobody who talked about him ever gave up what he gave up to follow the Lord. So it's easy when you working if you're me working at Walmart, or what I'm saying. But this dude, what he turned his back on, most of you wouldn't. So stop talking about that, man. You know what I'm saying? But it looked like he might have lost the tug of war, man. But I'm hoping it's not the end. But at this point, it's so frustrating that if he comes back, I'm gonna still be looking like, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
And here was my problem from the very beginning, and it kind of ties back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago. My problem from the very beginning is that he was pimped from the beginning. Like, as soon as he came out that he was a Christian, 2 weeks later they got this dude doing he preaching at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. I'm like, this dude been a Christian for 2 weeks. Man, let this dude grow. What happened to not a novice? They got this dude pimping him out front, and so he never had the opportunity to just sit down and grow, be discipled, become a disciple, and grow. He was never given that opportunity. People saw his name and they pimped him out.
Yeah, and see, like, I'm not against putting somebody up to share their testimony all day, but to just put somebody in that position of the pastor, it only shows how much respect you have for the position. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I feel you on that.
That's good. That's good. Now, coming back around to something that we already started discussing here, and you kind of alluded to it as we were talking about unity. By the way, if you're just now joining us, welcome. You've been missing out thus far. There's some good stuff. Go back and watch the replay when this is done. It's me, Steve Patton, here live on Rapzilla.com with Mr. God Over Money, Bizzle. We've talked about his hopes and his expectations for the Well Wishes album. We've talked about church. We talked about so much. And right now what I want to ask you about is one thing where you really became a lightning rod on the back end of the Grammys last year when you wrote the Same Love response. So I got two questions on that. My first question is, were you surprised at the amount of attention that it got, with it being on stuff like Huffington Post?
I guess Huffington Post, like, I'm not big on, I really kind of watch the hip-hop arena, if anything, but I didn't even, when it hit Huffington Post, I wasn't like, oh, wow, it's on Huffington Post. Other people was like that. I just, like any other record, man, I felt like something needed to be said. At this point, it gets frustrating. I'll be like, yo, why it always got to be me to say it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I know by the way the joint came together, man. The Lord was with me, and He was with me through it, man. So I expected a lot of the negativity and all of that, which it doesn't make it easier to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people that be like, oh, count it all joy, which I rock and I receive that, but it's not as easy to count it all joy when it's you either. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, mad stress and anxiety. You got the death threats, and all kind of stuff, man. And then I think the most is that I've never liked that much attention like that. Like, the attention to me has always been like I wouldn't say consequence, but it just comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? But to have so many people talking about me at one time, and especially in a bad way, and to know my heart, and to have them slandering me across all kind of, like, it was mad. I was dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety, at least for that first week. But I knew, as long as I knew that I was obedient, I'd rather deal with the consequences of obedience and be disobedient and be happy in the moment.
Sure. And then on the back end of that, so you're dealing with that, like you said, literal death threats. You got dudes threatening to kill you because you disagree with them. That sounds like tolerance.
Right.
But then on the back end of that, something that you mentioned earlier in our interview was about having the response and then seeing Christians respond in the interviews in a way that was at best less than supportive, and at worst against you. Especially with the Andy Mineo interview. What was when you saw it? And I noticed you retweeted some stuff, but you didn't tweet a lot of stuff initially when it kind of came out, his response to it. So what was your response to it, and what would you wish what is something you wish would have happened in his response?
Okay, so my initial response. Well, I mean, me and Andy had a conversation before it anyway. Well, he had texted me. It was like, yo, this wasn't a conversation. We had spoken before, but this wasn't a conversation. But he had texted me and was like, I just did an interview with the griot. It might come across a certain way, yada yada. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, for sure. I'm just gonna wait till I see it. And I respected the fact that he hit me. But then when I got to thinking about it, I was like, yo, why? It seems like the toes getting stepped on seem to always be on this side. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the Christian rap is corny, or whether it's people think. You see the interview about me, people think that we're beefing. You see an interview about Kanye, people pull from it that he wants to do a song with Kanye. And it's like the direction that people lean in, even if it may not be accurate, I'm like, yo, like, come on, man. Like, people already think we're against each other. You know what I'm saying? And so I wasn't feeling it, but I don't think, like, the people that say he dissed me, I don't feel like he dissed me like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like of course he wasn't supportive, and if he feels differently, and that's the thing, if he feels differently about the topic, then him being supportive or acting like he was supportive wouldn't be real. So, I guess I can expect that. But I feel like what I would like to have seen in the interview was we leave the interview knowing where Andy Mineo stood on it, because he got asked a question about me. He said that he disagreed with me, but he never said, okay, this is the Christian perspective. So I feel like that interview ended without a Christian perspective on the topic, and that's one of the reasons I made the record, is because we have no Christian perspective, because it gets shut down, because nobody wants to feel like they're homophobic or they're full of hate and all of this. So now we don't say anything. Everybody can think it. We could have conversations behind closed doors, but nobody wants to say anything. You know what I'm saying? And so when I hear things like it's not, it's the topic you shouldn't address in a 3-minute song, I'm like, yo, what topics can we address, and who draws that line? Because when I'm talking to the streets and I'm saying, yo, we got to stop that killing, stop that drug dealing, rappers, stop lying to the youth, and all of that, everybody else saying we could talk about in 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We could tell everybody stop faking in 3 minutes. When it comes to this topic, it's like, oh, we shouldn't put that in the song. But I believe that that's what I'm called to do. I always address controversial topics that I feel like don't get addressed from a Christian perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I did it the same way in this case. And if I have to do it again, I'm gonna do it again, and it's just gonna be what it be. And people gonna disagree, but I'm gonna do me.
Word. Well, I've got I've got one other question for you, and then I'm going to take some questions from the crowd here from Twitter. But here's my question for you, and I think it's a question that I don't think I saw it on Twitter, but I know it's a question that everybody wants to know. On the Well Wishes album, you, Lecrae, finally happened. My question, everybody's question, what took so long?
What took so long on that, man, I think it was, we didn't exactly see eye to eye before that. And it's not, we never had beef, but I mean, I think the only, when I first came out, you know, they didn't really rock with what I did. They still don't, but we just kind of moved past it. You know what I'm saying? But and even then, we know we would talk every now and then, and that. But I felt like there was some stuff that still needed to get cleared up, and I would have felt fake with us doing a record, knowing it was still something there. You know what I'm saying? Then I would have felt like I was doing it just to eat off his buzz or something. So after, you know, multiple conversations and me feeling in a way where I could be like, yo, you know what, man, I had a convo with Cray, man. He cool, talked about some stuff. I understood some stuff, whether we agree or disagree, you know, understood each other a little better. And actually, I think Boy Wonder's the one who asked, you know, he was like, yo, we should do a remix of Either I'm a Christian or You Know with Cray. And I was like, I'll pray about it, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, I was like, if he'll do, you know, after like the you know, not a Christian rapper and all, I was like, yo, if he'll do the You Know or the I'm a Christian record, bet, because those are some pretty direct joints. They saying hip hop dead, let it die. This the birth of truth mute. Like, yo, if he do that, that's what's up. That's gangster. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And man, he stuck to his word, man. He came through on it. And that's how that came to be.
Word. Well, now, on the Christian rap, like, now I'll ask this question, and I promise, I know I said, but this is one. It's on my pad to ask. Now, because that's an aspect of the discussion, and I will admit, I feel like that during my tenure, because my tenure here with Rapzilla, I feel like as lopsided as the discussion has gotten, I may have even played my role in making the discussion more lopsided than I ever wanted it to see it go in regards to the Christian rapper, not a Christian rapper, do Christian rap, Christian that raps. And I definitely want to play my part in helping bring some balance to the discussion. So we'll start right here, if you could, just for a few seconds here. Give us the case. Tell us why you see it's important to, like, no, I'm a Christian rapper. Why is that important?
Honestly, for me, I came from the other side. I'm kind of just, and this is the thing, it's personal for me. I want to wear Christ's name, you know what I'm saying? And Christian, you know what I'm saying? It lets people know the perspective that you're coming from the get-go. I'm more against taking I'm more, because I've heard good arguments for both, you know, because you're right. They don't have Muslim rappers and Jewish rappers and stuff like that. But they do have gangster rap, and they do have trap music that are sub music genres. You know what I'm saying? So when you say Christian rap, it does, you know, that it's not something totally new to be separated based on content. Though I don't think it's really fair, because the difference is trap music, gangster rap get put inside the rap section of the store. Christian rap has a hard time making it into the same store sometimes, and we have a hard time getting on the same, like Christian rap, trap music and gangster rap, or whatever kind of you want to call it. They'll get played by the same station that plays rap. Christian rap, you send a record and they say, this doesn't fit our format. So I do feel like we do get discriminated against. Me, I'm not personally a fan of it. Sometimes it depends on why you're taking it off, because we like to assume people's motives all the time. I'm not a fan of taking it off. Like this, we're promised to fight an uphill battle in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like the world's not gonna love us. They're not gonna receive us like that. So I'm not gonna take it off so that I don't have to deal with that. You know, like I knew when I called myself a Christian rapper, I knew that it might make it harder for me. You know what I'm saying? It might make people and you know, some people might think it's corny straight out the gate before you even start talking. But if when they hear Christian, or even half of the people feel that way when they hear Jesus, if I step in the door, you see Jesus on me, and that makes you close the door in my face, then close that door. But I'm not. I don't know. I can't. I'm not trying to be on my I'm hide my badge when I walk through the door because it makes it easier than the Bible said it was going to be for me. And you know what I'm saying? I think that the fact that and I almost blanked out. Um, the fact that you got people like Eminem, right? He rapped about stuff that I didn't agree with from the moment he came out, stuff I didn't believe. But he rapped about it so dope that I listened to it anyway. So I do believe there's a level of dopeness you can reach that make them listen to it anyway, because we've all listened to music where we didn't agree with the message. Um, so I think, man, I rather this is it, rather than sit there and say, I feel like when you get to the door, there's two responses. They say, well, Christian rap is whack, Christian rap is corny. Your response can be, you right, but I'm not a Christian rapper. Or it can be like, it's not, and let me show you why. I'm more of a fan of wearing the flag and making you respect Christian rap rather than taking it off so that you don't treat me differently. And you know, it makes it a little harder, but I'm with it, man. And that's for me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Word, word. You heard it right there, folks. Bizzle on why he is pro. I'm a Christian rapper. Dope. Thanks for addressing that, man. Now we're gonna take it to Twitter, man. We got some pretty good questions coming up here on Twitter. And in light of that, especially in light of what you just said, and you being a Christian rapper, at COE Music, Christ Over Everything, he asks, what are your thoughts about some Christian hip hop artists working with secular artists on projects?
I don't think that that's always a black and white issue. I think people see it and they say automatically, you're not supposed to work with him. And I definitely don't think that it's that way, especially coming from a bunch of people who go to job and who go to work and work jobs with secular people. You know what I'm saying? You go to a warehouse and you work on an assembly line with an atheist, but then you tell a Lecrae when he goes to work that he can't work with a secular artist. Now, at the same time, the reason it's tricky is because there's always this weird kind of line between ministry and, you know what I'm saying, with the ministry and it being rap, like my job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know how I don't just see it black and white like that. So I just wonder sometimes how another person can be so clear to them when they're not on the platform and they go to a job with somebody. And this is the thing too. It's a lot of it's about perspective, because like I just told you about me being a Christian rapper, there's certain doors that won't open for me because I do Christian rap. Because I choose to use my gift to spread the gospel or to glorify Jesus, there's certain deals I won't get offered. There's certain stations I won't get played on. Now, I go to work, I still do it, and because of that, it kills me. It kills my advancement in some places, even though we know promotion comes from the Lord, but in the natural it does. So, but we have a lot of people who go to work. Their job says that they cannot talk about Jesus, and they shut up about the gospel every day at work. They will not mention Jesus, but then they tell the person who turned his job into glorifying God that he can't work with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a conversation to be had amongst people who are on the same in that same field. You know what I'm saying? Like other Christian rappers discussed, because we know how it feels from both sides. We can discuss that type of thing. But when you have someone who works with an atheist, who will not speak the gospel because they don't want to lose their job, it's kind of hard to have that person telling you that you cannot work with this person. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is, but a lot of it is with where your motives are too, because some people can really be they really want to spread the gospel and they feel like this is a good idea. Now, whether it is or not, their heart might be in the right place, and we don't know that a lot of times. So with me, a lot of people ask if I would do a song with a secular rapper, and they think I'm totally against it because of the songs I've made. And I'm not totally against it. It's just a lot of it's not real cut and dry like that. Oh, you secular? No, it's not like that. What are we rapping about? Like, what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna co-sign your righteousness. So you can't get on a record with me, act like you're super righteous now, and I'd be like, y'all see, he's good. Give him the pass. No. We're not going to do that. If you want to get on my record and talk, and if I talk to you, I know that you struggle with God. Like with Hopson, the type of record he just did, minus the cursing, if we did like a response, he's coming to God, and then I respond to him, and we going back and forth, that would be a dope record. Or if Young Jeezy is tired of talking about drugs, he could be like, yo, I wanted to put a few of these positive songs on my last album, but the record label wouldn't let me do it. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you just never know, man. So if you want to talk about your struggle, I did a interview with Vlad TV. He was like, yo, would you, after the Same Love joint, would you do a collab with Frank Ocean? And I was like, I know he expected me to say no. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like his homosexuality is supposed to stop me or that. But I'm like, it depends on what the song's about. If he wants to get on a record and talk about his struggles, hey, that might be able to happen. Which you're not gonna get on a record and try to make it like it's not to be sin, make it out like it's not sin, or you know what I'm saying? So a lot of it depends, man. I don't want to fully just close the door on someone who's not saved and maybe leaning in this direction. And I would probably be more willing to hop on one of their records than to have them hop on one of mine, just because of the people that I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? But it still depends on who it is, what the topic of the song is, and at the end of the day, if the Lord leads. If the Lord say no, I don't care who it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boy Wonder produced for Drake. I ain't even asked to be on the record with Drake yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just trust what the Lord's doing, man. So I don't try to make those moves, because I've been on the other side where, you start being willing to compromise. Not saying that that's anybody else's motive behind it, but you're willing to compromise and do whatever just to get your name out there. So me, I'm just a little more particular with how I move.
Good stuff. Next question. Where'd it go? We're just right here. Okay, there we go. This is from Prail C. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's Twitter. So take that for what it's worth. Ebenezer Chinyati. There I go again. But it says, who do you consider, I'm going to put a caveat in here, outside of the Alpha Omega Mob God Over Money crew, who do you consider the best Christian rapper currently?
Outside of my crew and affiliates,
Yeah,
affiliates.
and affiliates.
Good cameo. Good. You did that good because I sure wasn't gonna go outside of the camp. Um, I would say best Christian rap all around because it's some cats I might feel that might be better lyrically but don't make better songs than the next person. I'll say all around. Golly, I never thought about this. I can I break it? Can I break it down to top three that I would probably listen to for pleasure?
Sure.
All right. For pleasure, I would probably listen to a Mouthpiece, um, Gemstones, or a GS. For my listening pleasure when I'm writing.
Word. Them good three. Stones is, man.
BC, right?
I mean, I was a fan of Stones, before he came on the right side of the thing. So it was.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Stones, man. He real humble dude, man.
Word. Shout out to Gemstones. I don't know if you're watching this at all, but hey, shout out to everybody. If you don't know who Gemstones is, go check him out. If you're on Rapzilla.com, just Google Gemstones, one word, you will find a few projects from him right on here. Go download them. It changes life.
Wait. Let me add John Gibbs to the list. I like John Gibbs.
John Gibbs is dope.
And honestly, I like the rep too, though. I don't know. I like, I like a few people.
Word. It's some hitters coming out right now. There's some hitters out there. Let's see here. That's deep. I won't even go there. That one's too deep. My pastor just preached a whole sermon on this one not too long ago. They asked, "What was your question? What are your thoughts about the Sabbath?"
Oh, I believe I'm all for keeping the Sabbath. I don't condemn those who don't, but I don't believe that the case for throwing it out is as strong as people make it to be either. I believe if you lie, if you bear false witness, if you commit adultery, I think people will say something to you. If you break the Sabbath, they won't, and then they say, "Well, we're not under the law anymore." But if we weren't under the law, you went to that same 10 in order to tell me why my bearing false witness was wrong. So and because after heaven and earth passed, I believe it said that there'll be a Sabbath in heaven, right? And then there was a Sabbath before the law was ever given to Moses. So I do think that there's something significant about it, and I would never tell anybody not to keep it. I just don't condemn those who don't, and I don't all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to get better at doing.
Good answer. Again, that's some great resources just on rest. Rest there. I think rest is good. Rest. The scripture says man wasn't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man. Rest is good for us. We need to rest.
Amen.
Word. Let's see. Let's get some more questions here. Taking them live from Twitter. If you want to post your questions here on Twitter, just use the hashtag question4 Bizzle. Let's see here. Now, he's not going to answer that. He's not going to tell us who is the new artist being added, though I have some theory. Tell us. You got to tune in on Wednesday, folks. Let's see here. Team GOM 559 asks, what's it like working with Seven?
My bad. I was over here trying to type and get folks to ask more questions. Man, Seven is my bro, man. Working with him. I mean, I don't think we have actually been in the studio for a record. I mean, it's cool. Like, Seven is the most laid back, mad funny. You know what I'm saying? We up in there cracking jokes, like 24/7, man. And then Seven's like mad deep, like mad versed in the scriptures. I think if a lot of people's minds would be blown if they sat down and talked to Seven. Um, like it really had an in-depth conversation with Seven. Um, like he's one of the realest, man. You know, he took me under him, Boss Dub took me under their wing when I came in, and everybody was telling me, I was reading that I was Antichrist and the devil and all kind of thing, and these was on Christian websites. These were Christians saying this about a new Christian, fairly new Christian. You know what I'm saying? Which is another reason why I'm not so quick to let people start throwing stones when they see something they don't recognize. You know what I'm saying? Um, what did Jesus say when the other people was out there casting people out in His name?
If they ain't if they not against us, they for us.
You feel me? So and they people really casted me, like they really threw me to the wolves, like just. And I mean, a few years later, I'm still walking, I'm still holding it down, I'm still holding Christ down. Um, so, but the fact that they took me under their wing, you know what I'm saying? Man, I forever love those brothers, man. Like it's way deeper than music. Like people, like Boss said, Boss say he calls me the famous one. Like I'm the famous one, but I'm still their little brother. Like I don't try to act like I'm the big brother because I'm more known. You know what I'm saying? Like those are my big bros, man.
Word. Shout out to Vossier, Alpha Omega. Yeah, good dude. I like that dude. We've talked a few times. I like that dude. And here's something that I will say. For those of you joining us, welcome. Glad that you are here. We've been taking some questions from Twitter. Continue to use the hashtag question, the number 4 Bizzle, and we'll be taking a few more questions from you online before we sign off here. But something that I want to say too, because I know we kind of the kerfuffle that began almost 4 years. Dang, it's been almost 4 years, bro. But almost 4 years ago, say 3.5 years ago now, when some stuff and some addendums that came along the stuff that I wrote about you on Rapzilla.com, and that led to a pretty interesting kerfuffle, which led to some dope dialogue between you and I. One thing that I've always wanted to see happen, and one thing I've always been trying to do something like this with you and I, is that despite all of the stuff that people try to categorize you for, people try to say that you're he's a gimmick, he's this, he's that, he's just making songs for response, and you've got what 3-4 songs like that maybe in your in your catalog. You've done so much more. You've done so much more, and you've been doing so much more. And something that I even said to you is that what I would love to see happen is that you be known for more than that stuff. And I'm glad to see that as you've endured, you got your brothers in your corner enduring you and seeing you become known for more than that stuff. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, people can't deny that you're more than just truth music. You're more than just same love response. You got well wishes. The whole Fight the Good Fight album and all of the other stuff you've been featuring on and collabing with people with, you've been much more than that stuff. So I'm glad to see that people gravitating to you and latching on to that stuff too.
Amen. Thank you.
So we are here. Let's see if we got a few more questions that we can take right here. Okay. No. Sorry. Somebody's asking about top 5 outside of GOM. We've already done that. Somebody wants to know, do you respond to people's DMs? But you follow like 900 million people on Twitter.
Yo, honestly, I don't respond to a whole lot of DMs. Like you said, I follow a whole lot of people. So I get a whole lot of DMs, and not all of them are real. I get a whole lot of spam DMs. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know how they be hitting you up. And so to try to decipher through all that, man, is mad hard. And I don't want to tell people what makes me respond sometimes, because they'll create a situation to make me respond. But if it's about music, like the music line is like mad long. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stand. You want music, you stand in the music line, and then you know what I'm saying. But the ones I respond to, man, are people who either need advice, they need help, they're struggling, stuff like that. Because I don't have a lot of time all the time. Like I'm already fighting to give my children enough time. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I can't sit there and go through all of that. You know what I'm saying? But when people hit me, whether it's on and it's less so in the DMs, but more so like on Facebook, if they send me a message and you know sometimes when I have time, those are the ones they take. I'm hitting them first all the time. So if it's a hundred music messages and five, you know, pray for me, I'm going through this, then those five are gonna get done if I have any time to do it, man. And honestly, you really shouldn't be mad at me for doing that.
Word, word. So get off his back, folk. He got kids. Leave him alone. He got kids.
Nah, but I be trying, man. But it's real. Like it be a whole lot of people hit me up, and you know I be trying to get back to everybody, but I realize that you know what, I can't do it, man. And it's just part of what comes with the territory. Like right now, anybody who's ever been in one of my shows, they'll tell you after the show, I walk out in the lobby. You know what I'm saying? I don't even rock. Like when they try to have security, I dismiss security. I walk out in the lobby, and I take pictures with every single person who wants to take pictures. I talk to people. I sign whatever needs to be signed until everybody's gone. It's usually like an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours in the lobby. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I can do that now. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When I'm on have as many people at my show as Lecrae does or Andy Mineo, I'm not going to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people like to use me as an example sometimes. Like, see, Bizzle real. He talked to his fans. Bizzle's real. You know, he still and chopped it up. It's like you also got to respect that I'm at a level where I can do that now. I don't feel like it's too much, but you know what I was thinking at the last one, like, yo, I was so tired, yo. An hour and a half after the show, I was taking pictures. I'm signing, and I was so tired. I wanted to go back, get my wife back to the room. You know, she's tired, and I was just like, yo, it hit me one day. Like one day, I'm not gonna be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? And people gonna be like, oh, he fake. He went Hollywood, but you don't understand the preparation that went into before the show. When I'm back there, I'm praying and just trying to get in my zone. I'm not talking to nobody. Like before, I'm laughing and joking, but up to 10 minutes before I go on, I don't want to talk to nobody. I got to get in my zone, just talk to the Lord. And then I go on. I usually do at least 45 minutes when I'm only scheduled for 30 because I'm preaching in between the records, and then you know I get off and then I'm taking pictures and all of this, and it's hard. It gets hard sometimes, but at this point in my career, I can still do it. So I just hope that people understand when I can't, the same way that they, you know, understand that I can't tweet everybody back. That's why I try. That's why I retweet people so much, because you know what I'm saying. I'm driving and I'm like I can't really respond and type, but I can retweet you to let you know, hey, I saw it, man. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. But it gets hard, man. So I
State,
try. I
state of
try. I
Texas, if
try.
that is illegal.
What'd you say?
If any authorities watching this, if it's any authorities watching this and that's illegal in his state, please disregard that comment.
Oh man.
Word. Here's a question that's popped up a few times. What happened to Flow on God Over Money?
I knew that one was coming. And you know, usually I'm never lost for words. I'll answer whatever question you put in front of me. But I will say Flo is young. I think he has a bright future ahead of him. And I wouldn't want to say anything. I know a lot of people got a lot of love for me, you know what I'm saying? I really, and that's the reason I never really spoke on it. People thought I had something to hide. I don't have nothing to hide, I promise you. But as me being Bizzle speaking on a flow who's just getting started, and it can hurt it can hurt what he's doing, man. So I like to just not speak on that, man. I think he's mad talented. Um, I can tell you it wasn't no happy, you know what I'm saying? We're not good like that, but we don't have beef. I haven't really spoken to him since. Um, and it is what it is, man. I don't want to go into details, man, because then it is what it is. It bothered me though, you know what I'm saying? It came at a bad time. It came at a real bad time with the same love joint, man. So it is what it is.
All right, well we won't hold your feet to the fire on that one, man. It seems like that one hurts. We got Trini. What's up, Trini? Trini up in Boston with the Ace Click, the Ace Crew, All Christ Everything Crew. She asks, "Is it true that you made I Am the Corner sit in the back of the bus because he's the only dark skinned one?"
Yo, nah, man, quarter stupid. Nah, I ain't do that. Yeah, right. Hey, I'll never mind. But no, nah, man, he chose the back of the bus. I don't know. Nah, I love Corner though, man. He a fool, man. I came, I think one time I came through the airport. He was standing outside with a "God Over Selah" sign. He drew up. Yo, I was rolling. Yo, Selah, he sounded like mad mean on records, and you know what I'm saying. But he's mad funny too, though. He mad cool.
That now I'm going to kind of take like 5 different questions and kind of morph them into one. But given the number of collaborations that you had on the Well Wishes project, who didn't make it on there that you really wish could have and couldn't happen for whatever reasons? But who do you wish could have been on there that wasn't?
All right, exclusive. Never made it track listing. So the Learn the Day with Learn the Day, the joint with me, Mouthpiece, and Seven was supposed to be me, the Truth, and Seven. The truth didn't end up, being able to get in time, for whatever reasons, and we talked about it. And, I respect his reasons that I'm not gonna go into with y'all. Thizzle was supposed to be me, Thizzle, and Social Club on Do This. And Thizzle, like I said, man, cats be touring.
You broke up. Say that again. So you Thizzle, who will do this?
Me, Thizzle, and Social Club on the Do This record. Thizzle was supposed to be on the hook. That ended up not coming together, man. Due to conflicting schedules. I actually had a song that was supposed to be me, Flame, and Uncle Reese, but the song ended up not being able to come together, and Flame be mad busy with the touring, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was cool that I still got V Rose on it, so it was somebody representing that camp, which is what I really was going for, you know what I'm saying? Not really the names of the people, but I wanted somebody out the camp to represent, which is why I put the joint with me and Lecrae on here, because I felt like that would have been one of the only camps that wasn't represented, and people would further try to push the, you know what I'm saying, the beef or whatever type conversations. But either way, man, I feel like Mouthpiece and GS killed the joints, man. So it came out the way it was supposed to come out, man. But with me and the other fellas, it will still work eventually.
Word. Any future Beautiful Eulogy, Humble Beast collaborations?
Well, we have a Humble Beast on there too with Eshawn, but I'm not sure yet. Like, I'm really not up on their music like that. The only time I heard some of their music was when I was in the car with Eshawn, and what I heard was dope. But like, we're working. I'm always working because I have artists. I'm always listening to rough cuts or something. So I'm either listening to Well Wishes, rough cuts, and mixes before y'all hearing them, or I'm gonna be listening to bumps, rough joints we sending back and forth, or stay live. So a lot of the time, you know what I'm saying, that's what I'm listening to. I'm listening to, instead of listening to other music for enjoyment, I'm listening to well wishes, trying to hear it the way that you know what artists do. Like, we try to hear it the way that y'all gonna hear it. Like, we try to listen to it like we never heard it before. Like, okay, boom, it's my first time hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And just see how y'all gonna feel about it. But that's usually what's in my deck.
Word. All right. 2 more questions here. We're gonna sign off. Question number 1: if you could go back, if you had time-space modulator, and you could go back, as you look over your career over the last few years, if you could go back and do anything differently, would you? And if so, what would it be? And here's my one caveat. My experiences make me what I am today. Unfair answer.
Nah. Man, I'm telling you, I'm not running out here, man. You can ask me. And that is true, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, my experiences, because a lot of the Stones and stuff helped me to become, the one who was used to Stones by the time Same Love came around. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. One record that, well, one, I went a little B early on, but you notice I never put it on any project. I caught that early, like as soon as I did it. He did a song called "Look Like Jesus," and I went in like that night. It was like 3 videos away from his on World Star, and I feel like that one was all me on my temper. It didn't glorify the Lord. It defended the Lord, but it didn't glorify Him. And it was just me wanting to get at him and be like, "What's popping?" So I never put it on the project, and I never got behind it anyway. Let me see. Now that I'm getting now that I'm getting a little older, I don't. The line I said about Jay-Z being old, that he finna kick the bucket on explaining to do, I might not have said that one, because now people gonna be it's gonna apply to me in a few years. I'll be like, yo, there's no age requirement on rap, but I said it was earlier, low key. But I'm not. There's nothing off the top, man, I can really say that I regret or that I would change. There's probably multiple things I might not have said in interviews, because I always speak my mind and I speak from my heart. And, sometimes they might be like, well, that was not the godly thing to do. And sometimes when I listen back, I'll be like, yo, that's how I felt, but I probably shouldn't have said it. You know what I'm saying? Thank God because I didn't responded to a lot of people I shouldn't have responded to on on social networks, and I'll be ready, man. Like, I'll be like, yo, all right. Somebody said I got demons in me, and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna be in your city in 2 weeks. You come to my show and pass them out then. You know what I'm saying? Then I'll be like, all right, delete. Or I'll be like, yo, you bugging, bitch. You can't talk like that, man. But it's not much. I'm sure there is things though, but I can't think of them.
Word. And then parting thoughts, man. What's something as we close out the interview, man? What's something you want to tell? You want to tell everybody? Any shout outs you want to make? Any declarations you want to make? Any announcements you want to make about new artists signing the God Over Money?
Man, I just want to say we got bunch of us coming up with a new album. Within the next 2 months, we got Say Loud Corner drop a hoodie within the next month. So I just want y'all to support, man. Continue to support the God Over Money movement. I'm gonna continue to do what I do, man, the best of my ability. I'm serving the Lord, but we need y'all to get behind this thing, man. I feel like a lot of we're campaigning for Jesus, and then you got a lot of people in the world campaigning for the enemy. And we need people to support all the way around, because I feel like a lot of believers still fund the enemy's agenda to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So man, I want y'all to really start getting behind when you see Christian anything, man, like support. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like and stop supporting the things that stand against your faith, man, because one thing I have seen is that like when you talk about the gay community, they'll shut you down. Like they stop spending money with you. They won't eat at your store. They won't, like, when you offend them. Us, we get offended and we keep spending money with you, but we talk about you. And like, man, like start investing in, whether it's the Christian bookstores, whether it's Christian rap, Christian films. Don't just sit back and complain about the quality, because sometimes the quality is not there because the money's not there, and the money's not there because you're spending it with the people who are pushing a message in opposition to your faith, and they're taking your money and they're spending it on good quality. So you know what I'm saying? You got to rep it. This is the beginning. It's not the beginning, you know what I'm saying, because Christian rap was around before I got here, but you know what I'm saying? It's came this far. It can continue to move further, man, as long as we continue to support each other. You know, and fans, man, like let's chill off. I feel like a lot of times Christian fans can be some of the most divisive sometimes. To where you'll have something against a rapper who said nothing about you because of what they said about that rapper in comparison to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's try to be responsible on these message boards, man, and stop acting like because we're rappers we need to be responsible in interviews and on records, but because you're on the message board, you're not held to the standard of being a Christian and acting like it. You know what I'm saying? You know, help us artists love each other. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, we do read the message boards and we see that stuff, and you plant stuff in people's heads, and sometimes pitting people against each other. So you know what I'm saying? Y'all show love to each other, show love to us, man. And I'm just gonna continue and keep trying to, and pray for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. This thing is stressful, especially when stress triggers lust, like it has in my situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, just pray for me, man, and keep me lifted up. I just want to be prepared to go wherever God takes me. Like, last thing I want to do is get somewhere I'm not prepared to be. So that's always my prayer. You know, Lord, don't send me before I'm ready to go. So, you know, pray for me, man, and I love y'all. You know what it is. God over.
Word. Well, there it is, folks. You heard it right here. Bizzle. I don't know what was up with the screen flipping back and forth, so I hope y'all was listening through that. But that was Bizzle sharing his heart. Support. Go out, cop the album.
Well wishes, man.
Go cop it.
Get it for somebody. Because what's gonna happen, I'm telling you, I'm gonna document the whole process. You guys are gonna be able to see these whales after it's done. You're gonna be able to see the looks on their faces, and you're gonna kick yourself if you wasn't a part of them. Like, I'm telling you, man. I'm 50. I'm going to Africa. And I'm going to show you where your money went, because this is not the last time we're gonna do it. And I know y'all how talk about the church, and they're gonna think I spent the money on a car and all that stuff. So I'm gonna show you where the money goes. But so next time we do it, you know, we're gonna come together again. We gotta start making changes. We need to be keeping on clean water, overeating, you included. You know what I'm saying? Living in our air-conditioned homes, man, and not caring. Because the same Jesus who said to go to all nations to spread the gospel, he must care about all nations, not just America. You feel me? So we need to do that, and he tells us the Bible tells us numerous amounts of times about how the Lord feels about the poor and the widow and the orphan. So you know what I'm saying? That's something we need to address if you can. If you can't do it, hey, that's what's up. I feel you. But if you can, man, like, let's start doing more than praying for people. And I'm not saying that like prayer doesn't do much. Prayer should be the first thing. But look for opportunities to help, and well wishes. I'm just trying to supply. You know, you don't have to go out there find the people to build the wells, all of that. None of that. All you have to do is go straight to iTunes, and then from there, all the footwork is going to be on God Over Money. So please go support it.
There it goes, folks. Go get it. Well wishes. It's on iTunes. It's on Google Music. It's on Amazon. It's going to be at family Christian bookstores, well, within the next week or two. It's going to be at the shows. You can go to the website. Go get it. Go cop it. Let's build some wells in Mozambique. Let's be a blessing to some people's lives. Bizzle, thanks for the time, bro. Thanks for taking the time, kicking it with us here at Rapzilla.com.
Thank you.
Always got love for you over here, man.
Amen. God bless y'all, man.
All right. Peace.